Hi everyone, we're going to be doing a Catwoman inspired makeup, specifically the Tim Burton version. We're going to be doing two versions, a mask version like that, and then the full forehead mask with the ears. That's going to look more realistic. So to start, I have my everyday fall makeup as my base, a winged liner and red lips. So we're going to jump right into creating that mask. So you're basically going to make a big circle from the middle of your, or from the front of your brow, over your arch, and under the eye. So I'm going to repeat it on this side. I'm using a L'Oreal liquid liner. It's really good for precision, so definitely a fan of this. Now I'm going to make a line under the circle, kind of where your sunglasses would lay. The front part will be a little lower, that's okay. Now we're going to do the forehead, and you're just going to do kind of just a swooping motion across the forehead. I am going to even out the other side of the eye because it came out a little lower than I would have liked it to be. But once we're all filled in, it's going to blend. So I'm just evening it out. Now we're going to switch to some black face paint. And we're going to fill in the mask. You're going to just start from the side, and when we get to the more thinner parts of the mask, I'll switch over to the eyeliner to get more precise lines, so that will make the process easier. But just to not completely dry out my eyeliner, it's just easier to do any sort of larger area if you can with a bit of face paint. The process of filling this mask does take some time, so you do need to have a little bit of patience, but here I'm just doing the upper part of the brow with that liquid liner. And now I'm going to switch back over to that face paint and drag a line on the bridge of the nose. And then we're going to fill in the other side of the mask. You can see my dog Armani. He decided to make an appearance in this video. Alright, so at this point we're almost done with the base. We're going to take that eyeliner and just finish off those edges of the nose. Alright, so the shape of the mask is done. So I was going to use a white eyeliner pencil, but it didn't work for me. So we're gonna first, before getting onto the stitches, we need to set the mask with black eyeshadow. This is going to prolong the wear of the eyeshadow, add extra darkness so you don't see any gaps, and just kind of set it so it doesn't transfer. This is more important for areas that I used a cream-based makeup, because the specific brand that I'm using isn't fully drying down. The areas where I used a liquid liner I'm less concerned about, because that dries down really well. I don't really need to set my eyeliner much on this face, but just to do an even blend, we're going to go over all the parts. So we have stitches that we need to trace out, where it's going to go pretty much all around the mask. I'm going to be switching to white face paint and a small liner brush because doing it directly with a white liner pencil was moving the base of the makeup for some reason. So here I am doing the first 3 strokes on the cheekbone. We're going to do an X on the, I guess that's the side of the face, and then there'll be 2 little lines. We're going to repeat on the other side. We're going to add two or 3 little lines on the cheekbone, the X, and the extra little lines on the side. And for the forehead, it's pretty much 2 little lines spaced out. It's supposed to be stitches, like holding, I guess, the mask together. So there's 1 little X above her eyebrow. I might change the placement so I can just tap that into the base and it just kind of erases, and I can redo the stitch. One thing to note is after you get your paint, if you press your brush flat, you'll get more precise lines. If you just kind of go in, your lines are going to be fuzzy. So remember to kind of press that brush flat when you're trying to do more precision work, such as like stitches. So at this point, this really does conclude the mask part of the Catwoman look. So if that's the only version you wanted to see, that would conclude this part. But we will be continuing this video so I can show you how to fill in the forehead and add more stitches onto the forehead. So this is the inspiration. So we're going to be recreating that forehead piece. So dipping back into my black paint, we're just going to trace over that, reset with eyeshadow, and then add the stitches. So here I'm just going to fill in the forehead part. I'm going to do my best to blend any areas together so there's no streaks peeking through later on. And then make sure you blend into the hairline. You might want to go a little bit past the hairline if you can, because we really don't want to see any pink skin poking through. And then you need to blend the forehead. I have to specifically blend the mask, the eyebrow part of my first mask, into this to remove the line of demarcation. However, if you're doing this look, you would just skip that part. You wouldn't do a big line with liner across, so you wouldn't have that issue that I'm kind of seeing here. So now we're going to set this in and blend further using black shadow and a fluffy brush from before. I'm really blending that into my hairline as far as I can, and I'm going to set the full forehead with the black shadow. This is just going to help increase the pigmentation, set it for the stitches, and increase the wear. So at this point, we're going to go back to the inspiration and we're going to add the stitches to her forehead. I am going back in with that liner brush and white paint, and I'm going to trace a line from the hairline to the arc of the brow, and from the X to the line I just created. Now I am just taking extra paint to just detail that line a little bit further, and we're going to do the stitching. So we're going to do 2 lines, 1 X, and 2 lines. In the connecting part, we're going to do 1 big X, 2 lines, and 1 final line close to the hairline. And then for this part, we're going to do 2 lines, and because an X doesn't fit there, we're just going to do 1 more extra line. Yeah, that pretty much completes the stitches. It's so simple. I'm just detailing, adding some extra pigment to some of the areas. Off camera, I will go back and deepen the forehead with extra black shadow because it is looking a little bit see-through for me. The final step in this look is I noticed her eye look had a little bit more black shadow, so I'm just tracing under the lines, or under the waterline with black shadow and a flat liner brush. So this concludes the look. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. And here is the final look. I added ears.